NBA 2K18 tutorial number 64. Today we are going online. So yes, we will be taking our Boston pay system for the first time ever online onwards to SUPEMAX, and the results, as you can see here, are fantastic and very consistent. So please watch tutorial 48 to number 63 to learn the Boston pay system for my team. Here you can actually say hello to my fantastic 8s led by LeBron James, Ruby LeBron James, as you can see there. And please stay to the end to learn the essential 8-man SUPERMAX rotation that I want to teach you guys. That's going to give you a huge competitive advantage over managing the cap. So first things first, let's take a look at the Boston playbook on SUPERMAX and how it plays out. We will also study the power of reverse layups against human users and how that dominates online settings because of the weird timing that it takes to defend a reverse. So we'll begin with the Boston playbook, and you can see here me just showing you the plays that do work very well against humans. First, we will start off with the fist 1-5 wide that has multiple options. This wing options is deadly because it allows you to trigger reverse dunks if you have LeBron. Now obviously the Boston playbook is perfect for this because it has over 10 to 12 money plays or money sets that I still haven't finished showing you guys yet. This is a quick 2-fist 71 going away from the double screen. And here's probably one of my favorite plays in the playbook, play for sets. This is what I call a loop katana. This is also very deadly, but like I said, there are over 12 money play sets in this playbook. So against the human users, with this you're doing just fine because you can call these multiple times and you can call all of them. You will actually be able to call all of them in a 20-minute game. That's how stacked this playbook is. So the Boston or the Pelicans, and you can see here these are actually the only times I ran these sets. So I only run this one twice, I think, and it still worked out great, and I was able to use all of the options. So these sets, amazing, playbook amazing on SUPERMAX. And the reverse layups that I want to talk to you guys about. So this is great versus user. As you can see here, his ring weight has my Terry. In the normal sense, Terry should not be able to finish this over Dwayne Wade because Wade's a good defender and Terry can't really finish at the rim. But I was able to throw him off with my reverse timing. As you can see, I jump later, he misses the block, and I was able to reverse the layup all over him. That's a skill. That's stick skills and timing skill. Here is JoJo White again, who has Hall of Fame acrobat, and you can see me just finish right over his center. And here's Terry again. He tries to block it, but I changed the timing. See, if I went up on that normally, he would have blocked it. But because I went reverse, success. And you can see it time and time again play out. So you see here, I'm attacking like I'm going. He jumps because he thinks I'm jumping at that point, which everybody does, but not me. I reverse it. So I jump at least a full second later. So that throws off every defender I see online. On SUPERMAX, I'll play now online. This just works because it's so different. You can see me here again, reverse it again, and sometimes you draw the foul and I get the free throws. Make sure you do this reverse family, it's crazy. And obviously curse you SUPERMAX because I play pretty good defense throughout the course of the game and pretty good offense, but you can see he makes that shot, and then look at the shots that I get immediately following in the next two possessions. He make that contested free, and I am shooting these wide open ones with my designated shooter, who is Jason Terry. Crank. So I'm executing this perfectly. I'm showing you this because you guys know me. I don't mind missing open shots, but I just want to show it to you because it happens. And even though like I had a better team than this guy and I was a more prepared and more skilled player, the game was close at the beginning, but you can see it's a blowout now because see, I'm making my shots now. That's a slightly late, so I'm making, so just keep taking wide open shots. Eventually the odds will favor you because as you can see by the final score, this is not even close. And shout out to this guy because he stayed to the end, which is really important because I get a lot of early rage quits, but this guy didn't, and because of him we are actually able to have enough footage for me to show you my favorite 8-man SUPERMAX rotation. And this is crucial because it gives you a huge cap advantage, and thank you for this guy for staying the whole game so I can show you all I need to show you. So this is pretty intricate, so please get pen and paper ready. You probably will need it because this is very detail oriented. So first, let's take a look at my team. So I am running 8 cards. I have the Amethyst Fat Lever, Richard Hamilton, Ruby LeBron Moments LeBron, Ruby Russell, and Ruby Bob Love. And off the bench, like I said, because it's an 8-card rotation, I only have 3 guys, and that's JoJo White, Jason Terry, and Ron Artest, and everybody else, as you can see, is bronze, and that allows me to have a cap of 6,300. So I'm still 200 under the cap, and I can run 8 guys, so I don't need any other cards. So the key to this, the first thing, the key is the stamina of the cards. You want to make sure everybody is around 95 and above. the lowest I would go is 92. So you can see Russell's stamina is 95. Bob Love's stamina is also 95. So they're pretty good. So you need 95 and above. So Hamilton is 94. So I will let that slide because Hamilton is not like a main guy. He's a rotation guy. I'll discuss that later. But 94 is okay. LeBron is my star. He's the best player. So someone like this should probably be 98 and above. 99 would be ideal. But above 95 is the cutoff. Fat Lever is, once again, not even a rotation player. In this rotation, he just plays very little minutes. So 93 for him is fine. Ron Artest is the backup small forward. He will also need around 95 to 99 stamina. And then Jason Terry is the off the bench 2-guard. He will be needing the 95 plus 2, but he is 96. So most of these players do just keep that on focus. JoJo White is 98. So just when you're getting a card and getting them in the rotation, make sure they're at least 93 and above. 95 above ideally. As for the minute spread, you will need 2 point guards to share all available minutes. So there's 20 of them. So my choice is Lever and JoJo White. How you divide these 20 minutes is up to you, but you need 2 point guards for the cards. And then you need a backup card who only plays shooting guard. So any card would do, anyone would do, but for me that card is Jason Terry. So the backup card that only plays 2 guard. And then you're going to need a starting shooting guard who can also play small forward. And he actually is going to split his minutes 50-50. So he will be playing half shooting guard, half small forward. So someone like Rip Hamilton would do the trick. So a lot of players will do this, but you need a starting shooting guard that can play both. And then this is important. You're going to need a backup small forward who can also play power forward in pinch. He's mostly going to play small forward, but you need this card to be able to play a little bit of power forward. Okay, so that's the backup small forward card who can also play power forward. You're going to need a starting power forward card who can also play center. This is also really important. These cards there's many of them, but there's not a lot. So you need to be able to find a starting power forward who can also play a little bit of center for you. Not too much, but he needs to be able to play at least maybe 4 or 5 minutes of center. And then you need the superstar. So for me, it's LeBron. So you need a starting small forward that can also play power forward. Now, your starting small forward might not be the superstar on your team, but it doesn't matter. He has to be able to play quite a bit of power forward because this guy's going to be split between the 2 positions, much like Rich Hamilton, who is the starting 2-guard that also plays half his time as the small forward. And you will need a starting center that only plays a center. So for me, that's Bill Russell. And if you have a team with cards that can play multiple positions like that, you will be able to run my 8-man rotation that you see here. And I also talked to you about the specific time where you need to call timeouts and substitute. That's coming up later. But just see this, pretty stacked cards, but I only use 6,300 of my cap. So if I go into this online on SUPERMAX, I have a huge competitive advantage as you saw earlier against the guy before. And how to divide the minutes specifically, you just need to understand which guys are your rotation guys and which guys are your main star players. So for me, there are 3 rotation guys. So you can see by the minutes, Artest is a rotation guy, Bob Love is a rotation guy, and Hamilton is a rotation guy because they just play about 13 to 14 minutes a game. Fat Lever is just a backup PG. He actually doesn't play much. He plays 6 minutes a game because I rely mostly on JoJo. So one of your point guards are not going to play that much. So you can actually lower the cap on that guy to save cap. But the other 4 players are stars. So for me, it would be LeBron James, Terry, JoJo White, and Russell. For me, these guys play at least 15 minutes and tops 16 minutes. 17, I'm really pushing it, but they will play at least 15 to 16 minutes every game. So these 4 guys are my stars: Terry, James, White, and Russell. So the timeouts. The first time you're going to go a timeout will be 3 minutes in the game. So at the 2-minute mark, you will begin to take out the starters. So the starters that I originally had were Lever, Hamilton, James, Bob Love, and Bill Russell. But you will call your first timeout at the 2-minute mark, so 3 minutes after, and you're gonna bring in both Terry and White, so your backup wings. And now you're gonna take out Bob Love, and you actually what you're gonna do is you're gonna slide your starting small forward down, your power forward, and your starting 2-guard to small forward. So you see the lineup I'm running now is White, Terry, Hamilton, James, Russell. So 3 starters, 2 bench guys. Alright, and Terry and White are actually super bench guys because they're better. And at the start of the second quarter, you're going to bring in your backup small forward. So for me, that's Artest. So Artest doesn't play until the start of the second quarter. He doesn't play the entire first. And you call a timeout at the beginning if you have 1 to spare. And then at the 3-minute mark, at the second quarter, so 2 minutes in, you're going to call another timeout. And you're going to take out Russell and James. So Russell and James are the starters that actually been playing at this point 7 minutes straight. That's what I like to do with them. They don't play the last 3 minutes of the second quarter. So 2 of my starters, which would be Russell and James. So Artest already took out Hamilton. So Hamilton only plays the first 5 minutes. White and Terry, once they come in from the first quarter, the 2-minute mark. They don't leave. So I'm taking out James. So I'm gonna put back Artest as the small ball 4. Gonna put Bob Love, who was the starting power forward that can play a little bit of center. This is when he plays center for about 3 minutes. Hamilton once again now he comes back on and he slides to the 3, and Artest slides down to the 4. So this is my 5-out lineup that is a little bit undersized, but because I have Bob Love as center who can shoot the free ball, so it kind of balances out the undersizedness. So that's when I call a timeout. So that's it. I use that lineup and I go to the start of the third quarter. Obviously, I bring back my starters at the start of the third. And then at any point at the third, at the beginning or at the 3-minute mark, I just call a timeout for let them rest. I don't sub anyone in. So with this timeout, I'm just letting my starters rest because now I have Lever, Hamilton, LeBron, Bob Love, and Russell. So this is just when I let the starters rest out. And you can see at the 2-minute mark of the third quarter, now I do a reverse. Last time I bought in Terry and Hamilton and kept James and Russell, but this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out James and Russell and keep Bob Love on because I want Russell and James to close out the fourth quarter. So what I'm going to do now is at this point at the 2-minute mark of the third quarter, I'm going to call a timeout, bring in Artest. Once again, take out Russell, slide Bob Love to the 5, and take LeBron out and slide Hamilton to the 3. So I go back to my 5-out small ball lineup for only 2 minutes, so not too long. This is just a setup so that I can have LeBron and Russell, my 2 favorite starters, to close out the game. White and Terry once again comes in and they're going to stay the rest of the way. So at the 1 minute and 30 mark and around the third quarter, I'm just going to call another timeout. This is just for rest. So I'm going to rest LeBron and Russell, especially to prepare them for the fourth. And also get these guys a little bit of rest. So then Terry and White can also play the fourth. Artest, Love, and Hamilton at this point, their stamina don't matter anymore because they're not going to play much of the fourth. So you can see at the beginning of the fourth quarter, I'm going to call a timeout and obviously bring back in Russell and James. Have Russell as the center, James as the power forward. White and Terry are on. And I'm going to slide Artest back up to the 3. So he's going to play small forward for now. And at the 3-minute mark, this is really important. 3-minute mark at the fourth quarter, you should actually still have 3 timeouts left, but you must call a timeout before the clock goes lower than 3 minutes. Because if you don't call a timeout before the clock goes lower than 3 minutes, you lose that timeout. So you have to call your third remaining timeout before the 3-minute mark finishes in the fourth quarter. This is crucial. Otherwise, you lose this timeout without getting the benefit. So don't do that. Always call your third remaining timeout before the 3-minute mark in the fourth quarter, okay? No matter what you're doing, call it. And at this point, you can decide, do you want to bring back in Hamilton as a small forward? Or do you want to keep Artest there, who's your backup small forward? So this is a decision you have to make because at this point, both of them will have enough stamina to finish the game. So Artest did pretty good for me this game, so I just kept Artest on. But I could have brought back in Hamilton, so it doesn't matter. But once again, White and Terry stays throughout the game. And this is what I decided to do with the closing lineup. Obviously, I can also bring back in Bob Love and slide LeBron to the 3 and play bigger. But that's just the decision you make at that point at the 3rd-minute mark or 3rd-minute mark at the fourth quarter. And at the end, I'm just going to go a timeout to rest them again. And you can see by the end of the game, their stamina are great. Russell was great, Artest was great. So I can actually push probably Russell for another minute. Terry and White, obviously, I couldn't anymore. They're in the 60s. But they play a lot, so they're not really bench guys. They just end up playing a lot. LeBron was perfectly fine. He carried throughout the game, as you can see by the score, 77-38. And he still has 71 energy left by the time I had 1 timeout remaining. So I actually still have 1 timeout after this, but it's a blowout, so I don't need it. So in the end, you can see, like I said, it's a blowout, but at the 3rd-minute mark, I can decide if I want to bring in Hamilton, Artest, or Love, so I have a choice with 3 minutes to go at the fourth quarter to decide if I want to play big, small, or any lineup I really want. So that's the 8-man rotation I play. Please test this out for yourself. Obviously, this is detail-oriented. What I've showed you is going to work for most teams, but if you have a very specific cards you like, you might need a different kind of rotation. Send me your card lineups in the comment section. I'll try to figure it out for you. But majority of the time, this is what you're gonna need. These kind of players. You need the essential players to this entire system are small forwards who can play power forwards and a starting power forward who can play center. That's really important. Those are harder to find, especially the starting power forward that can play center, so you can figure those out on your own. Bob Love is my favorite because he can actually stretch the floor too, and he's a good defender. So, as always, thanks for coming by. If you got any My Team questions, leave it in the comment section. I'll try my best to answer it. Test this out for me so I'll know. And as always, thank you to those subscribers who sponsor my channel on YouTube Gaming. I appreciate your support, keeping the channel alive. Thank you for that. And yeah, as always, thanks for coming. I'll see all of you next time.